Hey Alan, how's it going? This is Ryan from TrendLizard.com. Thanks for signing up at our website at TrendLizard.com. Thanks for sending me the email with the 3 tickers that you would like me to analyze. Welcome to the TrendLizard community. You're going to like it here. As you can tell from what we do, our purpose is to bring Elliott Wave to the masses, show you exactly how to use the theory in very simplistic terms so you can use this powerful theory for yourself to make money and stay on the right side of the market and all the stocks you're interested in. Speaking of the stocks you're interested in, you sent me 3 tickers. The first one is SHLL, the Tortoise Acquisition Group. After that, we're going to take a look at Zuora, ZUO, as well as Workhorse, WKHS. So let's get down to business. We're going to take a look first at SHLL, Tortoise Acquisition Group. This guy did absolutely nothing for about the first year or so of its inception. Obviously, that changed in a major way starting in June. It was trading around $10 for almost a full year, and then it just shot to the moon starting in June. And it's been a very constructive move to the upside. As you can see here, it gave us a very nice up leg, which fits as a first wave. It pulled back in a second wave, gave us a very clear 5-wave advance, trendy third wave move, and then since then, off of September's high, it's been in a larger counter trend pullback. This is a substantial move. It went from about 58, now it's trading at about 45, so that's a pretty big pullback. And we need to take a closer look to understand where it's going to go. But on the longest term time frame that we have for SHLL, which you can see here, it's bullish. It looks like a trendy 5-wave move that's currently in the 4th wave advance. Overall, we have to expect a 5-wave move to play out here. Once you get that 5-wave move, you should get a larger counter trend pullback. But the simple fact that you're getting trendy 5-wave moves to the upside is a bullish thing because that dictates the direction of the trend. So on the longest term time frame, at least available on this stock, things look bullish because the trends are happening to the upside. So let's go ahead and zoom in here. Let's take a look now, just a little bit more focus on that advance to show you what we see happening here. Here's that first wave, the second wave, the very clear 5-wave advance for wave 3, and then this counter trend pullback that has been testing our yellow Fibonacci support area, which is a good sign. And also just the back and forth nature of this move in September is another clear indication that it's a counter trend affair and that eventually it's going to give way to higher prices. So that's a bullish thing. The thing that we need to wait for is for this counter trend pullback to complete. So let's go ahead and zoom in and focus just on what's happened in September to see what path it might take. To me, it looks like the initial sharp down leg is an A wave. Everything since then up until last week's high, or maybe that was Monday's high. Looks like Monday's high was a B wave, and then it's probably in a C wave down now. So the good thing, again, is that this looks very much like a counter trend move. That initial down leg in September looks like a very clear ABC move. So that alone kind of set the tone for this guy and said this is going to be a counter trend move. The fact that we had a really large recovery back towards September's high right away, another indication that it's a counter trend affair. And then you just get that sideways action that's been going on for the past few weeks. Again, a pretty clear sign that this is a counter trend move. So counter trend moves are tricky. You never know exactly how they're going to play out. There's so many different possibilities and different ways counter trend moves can play out. So that makes it a little tricky to have absolute confidence in exactly how things will progress. Generally speaking, we see a new low for the pullback before price turns higher, right? We want to see an ending pattern. So it's possible that that's happening this week, that we're getting a C wave down. What we'd like to see is a move below September's low to indicate that you're getting that sharper ending pattern. And once you get that, and it needs to be a move that stays above 35 because that's that yellow Fibonacci support area. Once you get that, something that moves below 40 but stays above 35, and then you start seeing some strength, that's going to be a good sign that you are getting the start of the next up leg, that 5th wave advance. Again, if we zoom out here, that 5th wave advance to the upside, which could be a very strong move. If you look at the other trendy moves, you had a move from 10 up to 35, and then a move from like 1750 all the way up to 57, 58. So the next up leg should be a big one. I think you need to wait for the counter trend pullback to end. A move above 50 would be bullish. It would be just the latest indication that this counter trend move is in fact a counter trend move and not the start of a trend. But that necessarily wouldn't mean that the uptrend has resumed. More important, I think, is seeing a move to a new low and then the start of something trendy to the upside. That would be my clue to buy. So There is SHLL. I hope that's helpful for you. We are bullish on it. Again, I'd like to see this counter trend pull back into the downside and then look to buy strength from there as a large fifth wave advance takes shape. So let's move on now. We are going to take a look at Zuora, ZUO. Here is the chart. Not in love with this one, I'll be honest with you. This guy has a very limited track record for one, and that track record is not good, right? So it was incepted back in 2018. It went up for a little bit, had a pretty nice run at that point, and since then it has just moved down. And there's not a lot of logic in trying to label this move. The only thing that matters to us is, has this changed? Is there any reason to believe that this downtrend that's been playing out over basically the 2 years that this guy has been in existence, has it ended? So here's the low to the downtrend so far. Happened in March. Had a big up leg. Is there any reason for us to think that this downtrend ended and this is the start of a new uptrend, thereby making it a good buying opportunity? Well, let's zoom in. Let's take a look at the 2020 advance and see what we can find. Here it is. Again, don't love it. Here's the advance off of March's low. The best thing I can find, and what looks fairly obvious to me, is that this is a three-wave up move. We know that three-wave moves are counter-trend moves, so the suggestion is that this is not the start of a new trend. It's a counter-trend move to the upside. Not only does it look like a three-wave move to me, as shown by the ABC labeling, but the pullback that's happened in September has quickly retraced more than 61.8% of this entire up leg off of March's low. Strike two. That's also something we'd never want to see. We never want to see any trendy move retraced by more than 61.8%. Even if we can forgive those sins and still try to find a way to make this bullish, let's go ahead and look at what's happened in September here. If we look at that move, strike three. I mean, what you get is looks like a trendy five-wave down move at the start of September and then counter-trend price action since then. I mean, this is a setup for lower levels no matter how you slice it. Everything that's happening to the upside is counter-trend movement, and to the downside, we're seeing trendy movement. This isn't one I'd buy. I'd stay the heck away from it. It looks like it's going to go lower. Doesn't look like a good buying opportunity according to the Elliott wave theory. So that's our take on Zuora. Let's go ahead and move on to Workhorse, WKHS. So this is it. This guy was incepted back in 2010. Obviously, it traded back and forth for several years. In 2019, it really took a beating and went below 50 cents, and that's where it all changed for Workhorse. This guy has been an absolute stud since then. It gave us a very large 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move for wave 1. From that point there, it gave us a 3-wave pullback for wave 2. And then off of that 2020 low, this guy really shot to the moon, going from about 150 up to about 32 with a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move into September's high. On a long-term time frame, this looks bullish. You have counter-trend movement to the downside. You're seeing trendy price action to the upside. The problem is this move is so huge in 2020, and it looks like it could be completed, at least this 5-wave move here. So let's go ahead and zoom in, take a little bit of closer look at the advancing portion of what's happened for Workhorse. This is it. It just focuses a little bit closer on the details here. You can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave advance for wave 1, and then you have a very clear ABC 3-wave pullback from there. And then at this point, off of the 2020 low, when everything else turned higher, so did Workhorse. It gave us a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave advance for wave 3. This is a super clear move. There's no reason to think that this move will continue. It looks like a 5-wave move that has ended. You see what happened today. It was actually off over 16%, which is a massive move. Took a big hit, and it's another reason to think that this 5-wave advance is completed and a much larger pullback is taking hold. So if you look at the previous action in 2019 here, this pullback right here, this was a second wave. So this appears to be the start of a fourth wave on the same time frame. You look at how long this thing took out, it was several months to the downside. That's what worries me about Workhorse. It worries me that it's completed this massive up leg and it's embarking on a much larger counter-trend pullback that could half the price of this guy before it's said and done. as we get a much larger multi-month counter trend recovery. Let's go ahead and zoom in and focus just on this action in 2020 now. This looks at that 5-wave advance. It shows you a little bit more of the detail, how every up leg is in fact a trendy move, how this 4th wave looks like a nice triangle pattern, and how we had this 5-wave advance into the current high just earlier this week, and now it's tanking, and it looks like a very important high. A move below 2075 would be some confirmation that this 5-wave advance off of March's low has completed, because that would represent more than a 61.8% retracement of the 5th wave advance. And once you get that type of retracement, it's a pretty good indication that something has changed. So from there, we would be looking for a low to ultimately occur in this yellow area here, which happens from about 1250 up to about 19. Which is a pretty substantial move considering it's at approximately 23 right now. But there are reasons to think why it would head to this area. For one, it's a Fibonacci retracement of this 5-wave advance off of March's low. It also represents where you find the 4th wave low, as well as the 4th of a 3rd wave low. All of these things are potential support areas. If that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. We're just looking at support to be found somewhere in this yellow area. The thing that's more concerning to me, other than the fact that it looks like a larger pullback is coming, is that the time factor. Like I said before, the previous pullback following a 5-wave advance took several months. This one could as well. So I think it's time to be careful on Workhorse. Let's go ahead and zoom in one more time and just look at the pullback off of September's high. This is it. It's still early. It looks like it could be a trendy move. It's kind of stair-stepped lower over the course of this week. It again got completely destroyed so far this week. It's lost like a third of its value over the course of just a few days. Not a good thing. It looks bearish. A move above 2750 at any point in time would indicate that this is a counter trend move. But we already expect it to be a counter trend move. We think it's going to be a 4th wave pullback. So really, that's no reason to buy. What you would need to see is the establishment of some kind of counter trend pattern and then clear trendy 5-wave action to the upside for you to think it's a bullish case directly from here. But that's just not what it looks like. Again, it looks like a big, clear 5-wave advance completed in 2020. And now the opportunity is there for this 5-wave move to be corrected, and that looks like it could take several months to do it. This is similar to what we're seeing across the market. I posted a video, I think 2 days ago, looking at the S&P 500. Same type of deal. We're very concerned that the 2020 up leg is a completed 5-wave move and that we're getting a larger pullback. So it wouldn't be super surprising to see a lot of stocks follow that same progression. So from my point of view, I would be careful with Workhorse. I do think it's bullish overall, but I think it could take several months before higher prices are actually realized based on the size of this 2nd wave pullback and the potential that a counteracting 4th wave pullback has begun just this week. So, hey, Alan, I hope that's helpful for you. Send me tickers every month. We'll do this. We'll run it back around every time. Every time you have something new to look at, and just try to tell you exactly how to trade these things and make money, or at least stay out of trouble, depending on what the case may be. So, again, this is Ryan with TrendLizard.com. Have a wonderful evening. We'll talk to you again very soon. Take care.